Hello everyone! It's been a bit, but hello and welcome back to another year of Rainclan. This video is year 6 and is a part of a series, so if you are new, please be sure to check out the playlist linked below before continuing this video, or else you will be very lost as to what's going on. Everyone all caught up? Good, because this year was truly wild. We had a bunch of crazy things happen this year, and I don't want to leave you all waiting an extra second after such a long break, so let's get right into it with the cats in StarClan. The first to die this year was unfortunately our deputy Green Freckle, who died at 120 moons old. They wanted to be left alone that day in Greenleaf, so I sent them out on a random patrol by themselves, where they were then ambushed and murdered by a Slate Clan patrol, who took the opportunity to strike the deputy while they were alone. Their death left the clan grieving and scrambling to find someone to fill their position. Next is Timberbrook, who died at 27 moons old. On the same moon of Green Freckle's death, Timberbrook was found eavesdropping on them. Like the detective that he is, I sent Timberbrook out to investigate why Green Freckle never returned to camp that night. After following some suspicious footprints, Timberbrook didn't even see the blow of the Slate Clan warrior that took them from behind. Brand new warrior Dovestripe was also found murdered on the border of Slate Clan, this time during a time skip. Dovepaw was a nervous apprentice who studied under his mother Daisy J's guidance and did very well with her gentle approach. He was always very reserved and never really made any friends, but he was good at his work and took his training seriously. He was so excited to finally become a warrior, and I am so sad to see him gone so soon. Dovestripe's death makes 3 deaths directly caused by Slate Clan attacks, so by the end of the year something had to be done, and the new deputy of Rainclan organized a party to stop Slate Clan's terror once and for all. This is all the cats in StarClan this year, but isn't the last death, so to speak. There's one more cat who we need to discuss. Finally, Puddlestar, the ancient tyrannical ruler, has kicked the bucket. And yes, of course he goes to the Dark Forest as our first resident there. The way he died is very silly. He appointed a very gullible and easily manipulatable cat as his deputy after Green Freckle's death, so that he could consolidate power to just himself. At the age of 169 moons, however, he was carried off by a hawk, never to be seen again, and later died from his wounds, joining the Dark Forest. With both his and Green Freckle's deaths in rapid succession, Rainclan was left in a bit of a panic and power vacuum. Before his death, Puddlestar appointed a new deputy, who would then become Rainclan's next leader. So, let's get into that leader ceremony, shall we? Pearhope led the way up the mountain slope. The green-leaf heat of the day barely chilled as the sun dipped over the horizon. The 2 Rainclan cats had to race across the valley under the cover of night to avoid the stalking Slate Clan patrols as they made their way north. Pearhope let out a breath as she reached the last hill to the summit, the stars twinkling overhead as if welcoming her to join them. She glanced over her shoulder, hearing a startled yowl and the clamor of loose rocks, as a second cat came to join her at the mountain's peak. "Is this the end of it?" Linkslight panted as he shook his paw free of a pebble that had gotten stuck. Pearhope sighed and looked ahead. "Yes, it is." Linkslight joined her at her side, yellow eyes gazing awestruck at the nebulas above him. Starlight glinted off his shiny kitty pet collar that he kept around his neck as a keepsake to the world that he came from. After a while, perhaps too long, the stars above began to glow brighter, their blinding light growing larger in the sky as starry cats filled the air above them. A beam of pure starlight shone upon Linkslight's pelt, eventually overtaking him as he allowed the light to whisk him away. Upon opening his eyes, Linkslight found himself in a starry void, with only one cat before him. A familiar face. Green Freckle. They patted forward, an unimpressed look upon their face, seemingly judgmental at the fact that this was Puddlestar's best excuse for a replacement. Green Freckle lets out an unnecessary breath, giving Linkslight a life for courage, saying that he will need it if he is to lead the clan well. They pause, then shake their head as they leave, giving way to the next cats to approach. Timberbrook follows Green Freckle, just as he did before he died. He dips his head in greeting to Linkslight and bestows him a life for curiosity. To lead well is to be the first one to question why things are the way they seem. Hawthorn Dusk steps forward next, a warm smile on his face. The medic touches noses with Linkslight and gives him a life for devotion, both to StarClan and to Rainclan. Ginger approaches next, giving him a life for unity, hoping these bonds are strong enough to mend the strife between the clans. Osprey Shimmer leaps forward, almost crashing into his old friend Linkslight. He gives him a life for strength to overcome his enemies. Next is Robin Stripe, starry ichor dripping from her mouth. she quietly gives Linkslight a life for insight, the gift of being able to recognize others' hurts before your own. The three of them leave as two more cats approach. One who Linkslight has never seen before steps aside as the young sage kit bounds forward, excited that she is allowed to take part in the ceremony. She reaches forward on her back paws in order to reach Linkslight's face, and gives him a life for protection, that nothing will be able to hurt him so long as he has the support of his clanmates at his side. The cat accompanying Sage Kit steps forward, an old and ancient power to him. Lotus Skitter smiles with a weary expression. He gives Linkslight a life for persistence. Personal drive and determination is the only way one can make it through to the next day, even when times are rough. The two cats leave, and Linkslight is once again left alone in the void. He feels a pit in his stomach, as if the cat who is supposed to be here to grace him with his last life is unable to cross into the light of the stars. Linkslight wonders if Puddlestar had made the right choice in forcing him to carry on this legacy. A soft purring voice interrupts his thoughts as Stormstar gazes upon the young Tom. Linkslight attempts to apologize for not being the right cat for the job, but Stormstar shakes his head. No cat is really prepared for the pressure of becoming leader, he says. There is no legacy you have to live up to besides the one you want to leave behind yourself. Stormstar rests his nose upon Linkslight's head, granting him his 9th life of satisfaction, the pride in oneself and comfort in knowing that you did all that you could. The starry cats fade into the void as Linkslight, now Linkstar, is drawn away back into the land of mortals. But Stormstar's face lingers, giving him a slight smile and believing that he will do all that he can to lead Rainclan well. Linkslight became Linkstar, and he is doing the best that he can, I think, which honestly still isn't great. Interesting choice for leader. He's still just as cringe fail as ever. Linkstar has been injured constantly. He was recovering from a sprain when Puddlestar died. He did recover from that, then immediately got green cough for like 4 moons and ended up losing a life. He then died from that, was fine. Then immediately got attacked by a dog with the status he finds the responsibility of leadership to be quite the burden. Yeah, no shit, buddy. You keep getting hurt. By the end of the year, he chilled out a bit and stopped panicking about everything, but he still has a broken bone from that dog. My guy is so ill-prepared for this job, he was just thinking he could take the easy streak as deputy for Puddlestar and ease on by his good side. But no. I don't know how I missed labeling one of his deaths, but Linkstar is now down to 7. It was probably because of that dog that I just forgot to write it down. Oops. He also got rejected by his crush, who he asked out this year. He's just having a bad time. Many cats are taking all of this misfortune as a sign from StarClan that Linkstar should not be leader, but with all the drama of SlightClan, there really hasn't been time to address any of that yet. Since we have a new leader, we have a new deputy. Linkstar basically turned to Cloudyfeather like, help me please, people seem to like you and I don't know what I'm doing. Luckily, Cloudyfeather agreed. Cloudyfeather is deputy, and I'm so proud of them, honestly. He's really stepping up to the task and is immediately on top of everything, dishing out patrols to everyone and keeping the clan running smoothly, even fighting off dogs and SlightClan patrols who get too close to the border. They've become very good friends with their previous apprentice Bracken, and is now developing a crush on Minty of all cats. She seems to even like him back. Cloudyfeather finally pulled the trigger on the problems with SlightClan after Dovestripe's death, and organized a battle patrol to meet them and get revenge for several of their fallen clanmates. So that will be the first thing that happens next year. Into the medicine den, Pearhope is still very grumpy and gloomy. She is stressed under the change in leadership and having to baby Linkstar with all of the other injuries this year. Although his training went well, she absolutely despises the new healer Brambledon for some reason, as he reminds her so much of her former mentor, and his upbeat attitude towards almost everything seems to get under her skin. But she is stressed out about more than just typical healer shenanigans. Because of her frequent visits to the healer's den and heroic attitude, Pearhope is developing a very strong crush on Carptooth. Although she doesn't really have the bravery to ask her to be official mates yet, the two of them are super close, and I really love the reckless butch fighter and the grumpy yet endeared healer trope. I think they would be a really cute couple. Bracken has had a pretty alright year. She's healed well from her poisoning at the end of last year, and is really thriving with her new job title. She loves checking up on the warriors and making herb runs with the new apprentice. She had a small run-in with Linkstar near the beginning of the year when he was still Linkslight, Linkslight had saved her from a dog attack and then immediately starting asking her about what he should do with his love life, which just so happened to be directed at her brother Goldentail. She was incredibly grossed out and refused to help him romance her brother. Besides that, she has been getting along wonderfully well with Cloudyfeather and Brambledon. She found some dried herbs and decided to wear them on her pelt. While on an herb gathering run, she found a loner struggling to give birth, yet was unable to save the young queen or her kits. This startled Copper Bracken, but she is doing her best to keep her spirits up. It seems to have really affected her, though. She's set up to be on the battlefield as a medic when Rainclan goes to war with SlateClan, as her full warrior training means she will be able to fend for herself if things get into an unfortunate scenario on the battlefield. It was clear from the beginning that Bramble Kit was set for the path of a healer. As an apprentice, he trained officially under Copper Bracken, but truth be told, they were kind of learning together since she was still quite new to the job herself. The two of them formed a really close bond. Bramblepaw never quite understood the Master Healer's Pearhope's utter dislike of him, but he had heard enough legendary stories of his father that he figured it had something to do with that. Luckily, he had his sister Hollypaw to gossip with and vent to. He only recently received his full name Brambledon in honor of his father, and a name so graciously chosen by all of you, so thank you so much for voting in the community poll from a while ago at this point. He is 17 moons old now, and he ended up being playful and a good storyteller, which I think is neat. Daisy J is heartbroken. She was looking forward to a cushy life of retirement with her mate Green Freckle this year, being able to watch their kits grow up into fine warriors. But with both her mate and one of her children's death, because of the clan she fled from so many years ago, that hope has left her. Although retirement age, she doesn't want to go out without at least getting her vengeance against SlateClan. Her good friends Minty and Billowbee urged her to rest, but understood she had to get some sort of closure, and she is one of the cats most looking forward to the upcoming battle. Speckle is now a senior warrior who all the clan respects and honors, yet she tends to find the rambunctiousness of the younger warriors quite annoying and irresponsible. She still platonically adores Darkleaf, and has a small crush on Linkstar as well as Carptooth. At one point in the year, she chased a rogue off the territory, perhaps it was Howlmask still lingering around. Due to Linkstar's constant injuries, she had lended her paw in helping to train his apprentice Patcha, who we will get more into later, but the young cat confided in her about some weird dreams he was having. Speckle told him that things were going to be alright, and given the track record, she feels a dawning sense of dread as she joins her clanmates in the march towards SlateClan territory. Darkleaf has grown more comfortable in his disability and regained a lot of the confidence he had in his younger years. He's fond of a lot of the younger warriors, Goldentail in particular, and wants to be a great role model for the young cats in the clan. He's been thinking a lot about the youth in the clan and really wants to prove himself as a mentor someday. He still really cares for Speckle, but has small crushes on Cloudyfeather and Pearhope. Darkleaf is in charge of protecting camp, while the main party of cats fit for battle heads out. He knows he may not be the best lookout, but he will fiercely defend those left behind at camp. Guess who's once again injured this year? That's right, the 65-moon-old Carptooth is currently sick with a sprained leg. Earlier in the year, however, she fought off a badger and gained a nasty scar on her tail, as well as a small one on her cheek. Part of me wonders if she is purposely being reckless just to hang out with the pretty healer cat who helps stitch up her wounds. With only a mild sprain right now, Carptooth is able to make her way around camp well enough, yet wouldn't be able to make the long journey through the snow to help with the SlateClan battle, so she's staying behind to help guard the camp. Minty has become quite a loud voice in Rainclan this year. Early in the year, she led a patrol to fight a pack of dogs at the far end of the territory. They ended up running into a loner named Ringo who swiped at Minty before running off. She helped with training multiple apprentices, including both Dovepaw and Patchpaw. All of the deaths really hit her hard, standing up for her friends and being one of the most vocal cats, supporting officially declaring war on SlateClan. These acts of bravery seem to have caught Cloudyfeather's eye, as well as Garlic Bush's, oddly enough. She seems to be putting in some extra training hours as her great fighter skill switched over for an unusually strong fighter, as she learns how to use her small size to undermine her enemies. Garlic Bush is truly in his trying to prove himself era. The young warrior is constantly showing off to Puddlestar and Linkstar once the leadership position changed, and he's formulating multiple crushes on many cats, including Minty, Hollyspot, and Goldentail. Him and Poppystreak are just buds though, even though they went on a midnight stroll one night in early fall. I think without his brother Timberbrook, Garlic Bush is lost about who to turn to and is seeking validation from anyone who is willing to give it to him. Golden-tail ended up turning down Linkstar's offer of mateship despite liking him back. He understands that there is a power and age dynamic between them that has only gotten worse since Linkstar became leader. In time, they may be able to be together, but right now everything is just a little too unstable. Golden-tail is trying to be the rock for his Grand Garlic Bush, who he can tell is really going through it right now. He's jealous of Hollyspot, who is quickly working her way up the ranks faster than he is, and also into the heart of Garlic Bush, who he is secretly a little bit gay for. He is closest to his sister, Copper Bracken, and really misses his dad, Sapphire, who was taken by Two Legs this year. Golden-tail really wants to prove himself to be a good warrior to the clan. Poppystreak is kinda just vibing, in all honesty. He is watching the chaotic love drama of his friend group of warriors his age, and is just sitting back and watching it all go down. He tries to act very casual and chill, yet he definitely inherited some of his mom's spice and has a very fierce side to him. He's not really close to any one cat in particular besides his mom, who he absolutely adores, and is pretty good friends with everyone in his age group. He likes Pearhope okay, but the two of them never really got the chance to hang out, and their personalities never really clicked. He doesn't really seem to appreciate her more grumpy demeanor. At her apprentice ceremony, Hollypaw, along with her brother Bramblepaw, were assured that their father was looking out for them from StarClan. Hollypaw was mentored to Green Freckle and adored having the deputy as her mentor while they were still alive. The two of them got along great, even though Hollypaw had a habit for sticking her nose where it wasn't wanted, including Puddlestar's secretive business while he was still alive. As she grew older, she started to dislike her mom Billowbee's constant nagging and hovering over her shoulder. She wants to prove herself as a warrior, not be kept cramped up in camp with her mom asking her to do chores. Hollypaw graduated to Hollyspot in record time, being honored for her dignity and spirit. She gained a love of stories from her brother. Being the only girl in her age group, she fought to be tougher than all of them, earning herself a reputation for being rowdy and a bit obnoxious at times. Patchpaw is a large, fluffy Tom who grew to be one of the biggest cats in the clan. He was apprenticed to Linkslight just as the older Tom was appointed to be deputy after Green Freckle's death, and couldn't be happier with this arrangement. Things went great for a few months until Patchpaw had a strange dream about large shadows looming over him. He was spooked, but figured it was nothing to worry about until he and Linkslight ran into an altercation with a pack of dogs while they were out. Luckily, both of them managed to escape the dogs with no life-altering injuries, yet Patchpaw still had to spend many moons in the healer den, falling behind in his training. Although he was large enough to become a warrior alongside his brother Dovestripe, Patchpaw remained an apprentice and is now 13 moons old. He cheered the loudest for his brother's ceremony and was devastated at the news that he was found dead at the Slate Clan border. He went to bed that night and had another very strange dream of shadows and ichor-like mud, barely being able to sleep before the clan set off towards the border that morning. He voiced his concerns to the older warrior Oak Speckle, who told him everything was going to be fine. But Patchpaw couldn't be sure what this vision would mean for the outcome of the battle as they marched forward through the snow. Into the Elder's Den, Billowbee is very much enjoying her retirement. She loved getting to watch her kits grow up into a fine healer and warrior respectively. The road has been rocky, as in her teenage years Hollyspot really didn't like Billowbee. Having similar personalities, the two of them often butted heads. She's still good friends with Minty, Daisy J, and Cloudy Feather, and she hopes they don't get in over their head with the battle in Slate Clan. Other than that, she hasn't really done much. She's kind of just been vibing, and she honestly deserves the retirement. That's all the cats in Rainclan this year, but we're gonna take a quick little detour over to some of the loners. I wasn't really sure where to put these in the video, but I figured here at the end we can just talk about what they've been up to real quick. First is Sapphire, who was taken away by Two Legs very early in the year. He really didn't do much with his time in the clan, unfortunately. He seems to really miss his kids, though, and is thinking about how the kits in the clan are doing now. I'm sad to see him go, but also he kinda really didn't do much, so see you around, Sapphire. So, remember the loner that took a swipe at Minty? That cat Ringo is 100% hanging around with Howlmask. She keeps seeing him in the distance and thinking about him. Howlmask himself even missed her at one point. Ringo is childish and a good mediator. I think she is very much has a Harley Quinn attitude towards Howlmask. Just, hopefully a little less toxic. She's jumping off the walls around him while he just wants to brood and think about what his next move is going to be to take out Rainclan. In specific, Howlmask thought he saw Linkslight at the border, so maybe the two of them are still in cahoots even after Howlmask got exiled. We'll have to see what his plans are and what he's been up to even outside of the clan. But with that, that wraps up Year 6 in Rainclan. I hope you all enjoyed your time here with me and the story as it has gone along so far. We will be starting the next part in Year 7 with a battle with Slate Clan and the events therein. I have already played through that year and even finished a good chunk of the art for it already, so you are definitely in for a treat. If you have any other ideas for videos in the interim while I work on the next Rainclan installment, be sure to let me know. I'm a very busy guy with a lot of projects on my plate right now, including graduating at the end of the year and being art director for my other YouTube project, Realm Jumper. But I would love to make more content for you all whenever I have the time to do so. I do have some animation content coming soon-ish. I just have to, find time to do it. But be on the lookout for those whenever they end up coming out. If you want to see sneak peeks for what I'm up to, remember to join my Discord server. It's a fun community of artists and creatives alike, and I think we have a pretty good vibe going on over there. Also, I have an Instagram. That's where I'm most active as far as socials go. As always, thank you all for the support that you have given this series and this channel, and massive thank you to the lovely fan artists featured at the end of this video that have been going on while I've been talking. Be sure to support all of the talented artists listed in the description below. I think that is all that I have time for today. Be sure to take care of yourselves, and with that, I will see you all next time.